Hello, and welcome to Temple of the False Pod. We're decks not optimized, but our plays sure as heck are fun. I'm Andy.
I'm Bruce.
Yeah, you are. And it's been a while since we've talked about Plane Chase.
Yeah.
And it's mostly been because it's been a while since they've had new planes. But while we were gone, apparently they released a bunch. It's funny because I keep wanting to call them like almost silver bordered, but I'm like, well, planes are already like a not official, or they're official, but they're not like a part of Commander, right?
Yeah, for the people who don't like fun.
Yeah.
For those who like fun, plane chase is just part of Commander. I love a good plane chase.
If you are unfamiliar with what we are talking about,
Right.
Plane Chase is, well, I'll link down below the playlist of our Plane Chase videos. But to give a brief synopsis, it's generally speaking, it's a deck of cards you can either draft or just have in the middle, and you flip over the top one. It's kind of like a world enchantment. It affects everybody. And then you roll a die to get off of the plane if you get the planeswalk symbol. Or if you roll the die and it's a chaos symbol, chaos ensues. And there's an effect on the card. It's pretty straightforward. It makes sense. And then there are 4 blank sides on the die.
Boo. Boo.
Yeah, boo.
I recently talked to a friend who, when they do their plane chase, when they play plane chase with their games, one of the friends apparently altered or created a 4-sided die.
Oh.
So one side is the planeswalk die, the other side of the die is the chaos, and then there's 2 blanks, which means half of the time something happens. It is outstanding.
Yes. Ooh, I got a little friend over here.
Nice.
Back to the topic at hand. In 2024 and 2025, a bunch of planes were released. Mostly through Magicons, which is not what we're going to talk about today. And then a set through, I think it was Gen Con 2025.
Okay.
There was I guess like a Secret Lair booth or something that had this package of 10 planes that each of them were themed around a different Secret Lair drop. So it's exciting. It's got cool little art on it. They've got gold borders because they're not tournament legal. We figured in typical us fashion, if you've seen our Doctor Who Plane Chase review, hi Frankie, it's going to be a lot like that. We're going to talk about all 10 of these planes, and then in a future episode talk about the other ones. Even though there's like 50 something, we'll go right through them. So
we will eventually get a chance to review each of them.
Yeah.
It's just a question of how it happens. So hang in there, folks. We got you covered.
Frankie, you have anything to say? Yeah? Okay. Well,
I was going to say, for anybody who's not watching the YouTube,
which you should be,
you're missing out on a great piece of tail.
Oh, yeah. Let's cover that one up. Yeah. So let's knock off this chit chat. Let's get started. We're gonna start with Deceptive Divination. It's a plane on the plane of Secret Lair. Heard of it?
Lame.
That'll be a constant in this episode. I believe they're all plain Secret Lair. It says change the text of each sorcery spell and sorcery card not on the stack by replacing sorcery with instant. Whenever chaos ensues, choose 2 target players. Each of them searches their library for a card, shuffles, puts that card back on top. So this, it turns sorceries into instants. This is an inside joke, I guess, based on deceptive something. Do you have first off, while I look this up, do you have
Yeah.
anything to say about this?
So the ability of the plane. First off, this is a one hit plane. When you get there, that's the text. Change the text of each sorcery spell and sorcery card not an attack replaced with sorcery with instant. Okay, so all your sorceries can now be instants. I mean, everybody's. Nor a lot of times the way these work is it has an effect that takes place on each person's turn. Like on their upkeep, on their draw, something happens. This one's a little different because this is just a static effect that affects everybody right off the board, or everybody on in the game. So goes to instant. That's great. It's real easy to forget though when for chaos it says choose 2 target players. Each of them searches their library for a card, then shuffles and puts that card on top. Because they just spent all this time talking about sorceries, it feels like it should say 2 target players search their library for a sorcery and put those cards on top. And it doesn't. This is just chaos. By the way, you get to tutor anything you want. So whenever chaos ensues, whoever rolls is going to pick themselves, because why wouldn't you want to tutor for a card and put it on top of your library? And 2, the unfortunate part is you're also giving somebody else the exact card they want. So it turns into a real tough situation. Like, do I really want to roll? Because even if you find exactly what you want, you have to know your opponent, that the player you're choosing is also finding exactly what they want. Now, the benefit, of course, of playing Chase is that it's a multiplayer format, and it's usually with 4 commander decks. So hopefully you can find somebody who can, work with you on this. I mean, I personally would be asking around the board saying, whatever you're getting, it's not coming at me, right? Or something along those lines to give yourself a little protection. Maybe you're in a ganging up scenario in the game, and you can choose somebody and know that reliably whatever they find, they're going to send it at somebody else. But yeah, this is one of the ones that makes me nervous. I do think that anytime you get the opportunity to roll, you're probably better rolling, because either you'll hit the chaos and you'll get to tutor. Unfortunately, an opponent gets a tutor, but you take that chance. Or you leave. And I don't know that leaving's necessarily a bad option either, because you're preventing anybody else from getting a chance to roll chaos. So
yeah,
I know a lot of planes, there's a contrast, either the chaos makes you want to stay and the plane makes you want to leave, or inverse. So a lot of times there's this question of, should I roll? Because half of this is really good for me. This one, I think you just roll. You just roll all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's usually this interesting choice of, do I roll before combat or after combat? And I think here it really doesn't matter. I think what's interesting too is that once you roll Planeswalk, everybody has a chance to respond before you go on to the next one.
Yeah.
So all your sorceries you can play as instants. I think what ends up being interesting is that it's like, how many sorceries are we really playing here, right? Like, it's very few, generally speaking. And it's also interesting that it's cards in hand. So like you're not you're not impulse drawing into sorceries that you can play. So right. there is a bit of restriction, if only because you're not playing all spells. It's just sorceries and I guess instants at instant speed. Yeah. But yeah, I
Andy,
found
you.
Go ahead.
You made a really interesting point with this, and I wanted to come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody rolls the chaos die, when somebody rolls chaos or planeswalk on the die, you have the opportunity to respond. And I really hadn't thought about the idea that now with an instant, you really actually can. So most of the sorceries you're going to see in people's decks are either ramp or removal. Most of the mass removal is a sorcery effect. So now you can sit on that until somebody rolls the die and never have to worry about, oh, what if I don't get a chance to do this? You will. You just got to keep the mana open. So
yeah. So I found the card that it's referencing.
Okay.
So there was a Secret Lair where Circular Logic was printed, and it had this art. I'll have it up on the screen. It's these two snakes eating themselves, two
Yeah.
Ouroboroses.
The Ouroboros, yeah.
And it says, for 2 and a blue, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1 for each card in your graveyard. Madness, blue.
Okay.
Now, what happened is that the Secret Lair accidentally printed it as a sorcery, which is
okay.
very hard to counter anything with a sorcery.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a cheeky nod to that of like,
that's
well,
cute.
now you can play your Circular Logic as a real counterspell rather than needing to like discard it to. But I mean, it was a reprint of a card that was already an instant. So, but it's fun and cute, I guess. Yeah, overall, it seems fun. Seems like it could make things interesting as long as people are playing sorceries. Next one. You want to read it?
The next one? Yeah, sure. It's Fibblethip. Completely, utterly, totally lost. It reads, when you planeswalk to this plane and at the beginning of your upkeep, create a map token. And for those of you who don't know, map token is an artifact with where you spend 1 and tap it, sacrifice the token, target creature you control explores, activate only as a sorcery. So the chaos is, whenever chaos ensues, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Untap up to 3 lands.
Cool. Which is Frantic Search?
Yes.
Which, makes sense thematically.
Yeah.
That's a good chaos.
That is a good chaos.
I think the map token is fine. Unless you're already playing Explore type stuff.
Right.
Yeah. It's cute.
Yeah, the map token is fine, but I mean, the Frantic Search, but you didn't have to pay the 3 to begin with. So it's, draw 2, discard 2, get 3 extra mana.
More.
Or more, yes. If you're smart enough to be playing Temple of the False God, you could be getting even more than just the 3 mana from the untapped lands. That's, man.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on how much you pay into it, right? Like in terms of like how much you're paying to roll.
Yes.
But overall, it's not like I think that this is the type of plane that like you're not like super eager to get off of, but like you're like kind of just, if you've got the extra mana, might as well roll, right? Like you'd love to get the chaos.
Yeah.
But staying here isn't detrimental to anyone or anything unless
it isn't. And at the same time though, I'm going to roll.
Right.
Like
exactly.
This isn't a plane where I'm going to be like, ooh, map tokens, I'm never leaving. So I'll never roll. Like, no, I like the map token. That's fine. But if it means that, I take the risk of leaving or I can get the chaos, I'm going to roll for the chaos. The chaos is just too good not to try for. So,
So it's fine. I don't know. Nothing amazing.
I like it just fine. I don't know that it's like you said. I mean,
it's not game warping, which is cool.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I'm not necessarily looking for my plane chase cards to be completely game warping.
Right.
So, yeah.
This next one
yes.
is called Finally Left Hand Magic Cards. Each creature's base power is equal to its printed toughness. Each creature's base toughness is equal to its printed power. Whenever chaos ensues, draw a card from the bottom of your library. That's pretty cool. That's like a fun little neat trick. It's gonna really suck if you have a bunch of zero whatevers. But who's playing those?
Right.
Kills all your O2 plants.
I mean, most of the creatures that get played have the same power and toughness.
Right.
This one can be, you look at this and you say to yourself, ooh, I could really abuse this plane. Like, yeah, sure you could. You're going to really build a deck around the chance of getting this plane flipped. You're just not going to. So this is just going to randomly alter some things. The chaos, like drawing from the bottom of your library, the bottom of the library is really hard to alter and affect. And this is as a Grenzone Dungeon Master player. I I appreciate that I found a number of ways to alter it, but practically speaking, you're not running those.
Right.
Everybody's running. Maybe you have ways to put things on the top of your library, but you certainly don't have way. It's unlikely you have ways to alter what's at the bottom of your library. So um, it's it's an interesting twist. Um, in any event, chaos is draw an extra card.
Yeah.
Because if you're not fixing the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter which side you're drawing from.
Right.
And as far as creatures, the power and toughness, I mean, maybe it'll help, maybe it won't. Sometimes it's going to cost you that 0x defender, like you were talking about, Andy. Other times, you've got a 1/5 and you're cackling because you paid 2 mana for it.
Yeah, at the very worst, it's gonna draw you a card that you mulliganed away that you're probably like, I put that at the bottom for a reason.
Well, there's that too, yeah.
But overall, I like the effect, the static ability of like just being cheeky and swapping the power and toughness.
Yeah. And I will say this is another one of those plane chase cards where I am going to roll. Maybe if I happen to have some commander that is getting some commander, or my creatures are getting a huge benefit, maybe I don't. But rolling chaos, you draw a card. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, and as somebody who plays in a play group that one of the people, their like main decks is a Felithar deck, which is like all walls. This hoses them completely. It honestly kills maybe 90% of their creatures.
Wow.
And the rest of them are going to be itty bitty from now on. So maybe they're gonna want to get away from this one, but it makes your goifs hit a little harder. Not that a lot of people are playing goifs in Commander. Next one.
All right.
Oh, the next card one's for 4. You.
Absolutely. Happy Yargle Day.
Happy Yargle Day!
At the beginning of each player's end step, if that player doesn't control a creature named Yargle, Glutton of Urborg, that player puts a Bargle counter on a creature they control. It becomes a copy of Yargle, Glutton of Urborg, except it isn't legendary.
Okay.
And for the chaos, whenever chaos ensues, choose Swords to Plowshares, opt Fatal Push, Anger of the Gods, or Explore at random. Copy the chosen card. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost.
All right.
Yargle is a vanilla 9/3, as I recall, right?
Yep.
Perfect. So take whatever creature you have, turn it into a 9/3.
And that's like just the period. Like, it doesn't go away. Even if you planeswalk, it just becomes a 9/3 as long as it has. I mean, I guess as long as it has that counter. I think that Bargle counter is literally only for reminder. It just becomes a copy until it leaves the battlefield, whether you flicker it or it dies, whatever. But that chaos. Holy.
Yeah. One quick thing before the chaos.
Yeah.
If you make your commander into Yargle, Glutton of Urborg, it is still your commander.
Mm-hmm.
So if your commander was a 1/1 and you were using some ability on the card, well, it's now a 9/3 and doesn't have that ability. So you've got a dramatic change in your plans, and maybe you're looking at dealing some commander damage with this. But in any event, I just wanted to throw that out there. It's an option.
They say commander damage isn't relevant anymore. Yeah, the chaos is sick. So Swords to Plowshare, a single white instant, the best removal of all time. Opt, a single blue instant, scry 1, draw 1. Fatal Push, single black instant, destroy target creature, mana value 2 or less, unless something of yours has left the battlefield and then it's 4 or something. Explore, single green, instant, or sorcery, doesn't matter. You can play an extra land for the turn, draw a card. And then Anger of the Gods, I think, is the only. Is that the
Yeah,
odd
it's
one
a
out?
3-mana spell.
Okay.
It's 1 red. Anger of the Gods deals 3 damage to each creature. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead, which is one way to get rid of everyone's Yargle. So essentially, you've got a 1 in 5 chance when you hit chaos of losing your Yargle.
Yeah.
Which is kind of comical.
And like honestly, the mana costs don't really matter because you're getting it for free.
Right.
Yeah.
No, this is all about the ability. I mean, Anger of the Gods is clearly there to stuff all the Yargles. So,
which like you'd be losing your own as well. But
I mean, the odds of hitting the Anger of the Gods. I mean, it's a 1 in 6 chance to get the chaos, and then a 1 in 5 chance of hitting Anger of the Gods. So it's only a 1 in 30 chance of hitting Anger of the Gods.
Yeah, there's very little downside to the chaos.
Yeah, another fun one.
Yeah. All right, the next one is based off of the Pure and Toothy Secret Lair. I don't remember. I think it was. Could not tell you what the Secret Lair was, but the art depicts Pure and Toothy. It's called Imaginary Friends. Players may cast spells as though they were other cards legal in this game's format with the same type and mana cost. Mana cost includes color. Whenever chaos ensues, exile cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, but only as another card following this plane's first ability. Put the rest on bottom of your library in random order. There's a lot to this card. It's a cool ability, no doubt. It's going to be really hard for newer players to grasp it. Basically, you play Soul Ring as a Shadow Spear. That's cool.
Yeah. No, this is one of the plane. This is a plane chase card I don't like.
Yeah.
I just don't like this. You're asking players to think of another card with the same mana cost. So either they're going to whip something off the top of their head and then regret what they've chosen later, or they're going to spend forever trying to think of a good option.
Yeah.
There are too many options. To be fair, I just finished building the most dangerous gamer as a commander, and I created an attraction deck to go with it and a contraption deck to go with it. At some point, we'll talk about that on the podcast. But
yes.
One of the cards that are in there lets me turn my creatures into other creatures that have the same mana the same cost. But I know that card's in there, and I have already made up a list of all of the options that I might choose if that card targets any of the creatures that are in my deck. So I'm already ready for this. I'm not going to waste everybody's time sitting around trying to think of a good result. So this is just another one. This is I don't want to see this thing ever come up.
Yeah.
I mean, every time somebody casts a spell, they have to come up with another spell that has the same. It's just like, oh, God.
Well, so like the first part is a choice, right? Like you don't have to. Yeah. But if you do roll chaos, the thing that you flip off of the top of your library, you must do something else, which like is really tough because like if you're rolling to get off the plane and you hit chaos, well, then you got to figure something out. But like, I think where this really sucks is the blue player has infinite number of, like, everything in their hand is now a counterspell. Because counterspells are at every single, mana value, mana cost. I think also the green player probably have a really good time if they just keep playing big creatures. But it's just so like it's a lot to ask of A fairly casual playgroup.
Yeah, I like the idea of the card. I think this does sound like a lot of fun, but in practice, I think that this is just gonna bog games down miserably.
Yeah.
Um,
There are only like a handful of people that I can think of that I think would get, the most enjoyment out of this.
right,
Like it's a
right.
very cool mini game, but to have it just pop up in the middle of like an already stressful board state is like, all right, well,
Yeah, commander games are complex enough. Now I've got to try and deal like, oh, so that creature is not that creature; it's something else entirely.
mm,
If it's going to be there though, I'm with you. I'm gonna roll chaos because I don't see a real downside in leaving. And the plus side, I mean, hey, if I hit chaos, then I get to I get to pick the best card in whatever mana cost I find,
for free.
and yeah, and put that in. So that's nothing to sneeze at. So
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's fine.
yep. Where are we here?
Next one is Lil Geary saves the day. If you want to read
Little
that one.
Geary saves the day. Legendary food tokens you control have hexproof and indestructible.
Oh, those classic legendary foods.
Right. When you planeswalk to this plane, create Lil Geary, a legendary 1/1 colorless food warrior artifact creature token,
Oh.
which apparently has hexproof and indestructible, because, that's the plane we're on. Whenever chaos ensues, put X +1/+1 counters on target legendary artifact creature you control, where X is the number of times you've rolled the planar die this turn.
Oh. And for those wondering, which may include you, Bruce, there are 3 legendary food cards printed currently.
Okay.
Sir Ginger, who's a
Yeah.
creature. Pizza Face from
Okay.
Ninja Turtles. And then Ariette's Tempting Apple, which is just a legendary artifact.
All right. All right.
But
So, see, and when you planeswalk to this plane, you create this 1/1. So only one person is getting this particular bonus, and it gets hexproof and indestructible, in addition to being a 1/1 food.
I assume it has the rest of the food text of like tap and sack for 2 to gain 3,
Right.
but I don't know.
Assuming that it does,
Mm-hmm.
then the net here is that I'm getting a 1/1 that I can sack for 3 life. It has hexproof and indestructible. It offers a variety of card types, so maybe that's beneficial. And when chaos ensues, you get to put +1 counters. Just to be clear for folks, you get to roll the planar die once per turn. If you want to roll it more than once, you have to pay a tax, 1 extra mana. So the second roll, you pay 1 mana, you get to roll again. The third roll, you pay 2 extra and you roll again. And you can keep going for as long as you have mana. So when this card says when chaos ensues, it's not as though you can intentionally roll the die 5 times and then try and roll chaos. Chaos is just going to happen whenever the die roll comes up. So it may come up on the first roll that you get, and then you would get a +1/+1 counter. It may come up on the second. As somebody who's played a lot of Plane Chase, most of the time you're rolling maybe twice because you happen to have extra mana.
Right.
Sometimes there's 3 times if you're, turn 3 and you just don't have a turn 3 play, so you're just going to roll a bunch of times. I don't know. And this only affects one person.
Yeah.
So for everybody else, they don't have this. Well, I mean, target legendary artifact creature, so maybe somebody does, but for the most part, you don't have anything. So you're not getting anything from chaos. You're not getting anything by staying there. So other than the person who rolled you there, everybody else is rolling to get off of this plane because it doesn't do anything. And the one person who's there is going to roll because they want to hit chaos.
Right.
Because that's the only benefit.
Like, realistically, are you going to be paying 6 mana for the chance to get 4+1 counters? Like, it's not even that good of a rate.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Because your first roll will be 0, your second roll will be 1, your third roll will be 3, or I mean, 2.
But you'll have spent 3 mana to
Right.
get 3 +1/+1 counters, right?
Yeah. And then the next one will be 4. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, and then it just gets worse and worse as you go on. So,
yeah.
Now, admittedly, the last game I played, I happened to have, I had pretty much infinite mana because I had, what's the black market?
Ah, yes.
I had black market out with 50 tokens on it.
Huh.
And I did not have virtually anything to spend it on. So oftentimes I was spending 40 mana in one turn, rolling the planar die. Maybe then I would have been excited about this particular plane. But
if you were
odds
on it,
yeah. Right. Odds are I would have just rolled the planes symbol and then we leave. So
yeah, I don't know. This one's tough because it's like it only, because it only affects one person. It's just kind of lackluster.
Right. I mean, I don't want my planes to, be huge, over dominating the game, but at the same time, I feel like this is terribly underwhelming.
Yeah.
This doesn't, even if you're the one who gets you there, you get a 1/1, and then you're stuck there until somebody can get you out. Maybe we're missing something, but
yeah,
it seems a little underwhelming. So,
the next one,
yeah,
is based on Meandering Tower Shell. It's called Math is for Blockers. It says whenever a token creature whenever a non-token creature attacks, exile it. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control, tapped and attacking at the beginning of that player's next declare attacker's step. Whenever chaos ensues, goad target creature. So you attack, it goes away until you attack again, and then it comes in and is attacking. It just kind of turns into a really slow combat. So chances are you're not attacking unless you really want that ETB. And then the chaos forces your opponents to attack, or forces a creature of your opponents to attack, because then it'll go away for a while.
Right. The nice part about that goad, though, is that it taps the creature to force it to attack, which means it's not attacking you and it can't block.
Right.
And then the card gets exiled until the opponent's next turn.
Yeah.
So that's another round. Or no, is that? Yeah, because then on the next round when it comes back, it comes back tapped and attacking. Yeah. So it's still tapped. So the goad trigger essentially hits twice.
Now, what I want to know, and if any of you listeners out there know this, the return it to battlefield under its owner's control, tapped and attacking at the beginning of that player's next declare attacker step is a separate sentence. So if we are no longer on this plane, does it come back? Like, is it an effect that checks when it becomes that time, or is it an effect of it being exiled? It has that,
I want to say that it comes back, but
I want to say it comes back because I'm
not sure.
Nicer, but
there's but I'm not sure.
Yeah, as most of these do, it feels like reference the plane, right? Like it's like, oh, like here's a reference to a thing that which is fine. I think which is cute. I don't know.
The downside with this one, Commander games are slow enough. I mean, if this makes every attack take twice as long, and Commander is a format where honestly, attacking is oftentimes just not in your best interests. You've got 3 opponents that can swing at you. Do you really want to tap your creature to attack?
Right.
And then now do you really want to tap your creature so you can attack once in 2 turns? Like that's a tough ask. I can see a lot of people just simply, no, we're not attacking. I'll roll to get out of here. Or if you're behind in the game, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. I I
slow the game down, give me a chance to catch up a little,
I
maybe.
think a big part of this card is the ETB. Like
Yeah,
you get your ETBs again, but
yeah.
I don't think that the card is really like, especially because the chaos is there. I don't think it ever really wants you to attack, um, because the chaos is force your opponents to do it.
Right.
Where this is interesting is I play in a group that one of the people regularly plays a goad deck, so I'm like,
Yeah.
uh oh. um, but yeah, it's nice because with goad, at least, like, uh with just goad, you have ways to untap things, you have ways to give things vigilance, you've got like all these things. But on this plane, that goad becomes much more powerful because you are getting rid of blockers,
Hmm.
period.
Yeah.
At least for that turn. So
I will say, my group plays a lot of ways to steal your creatures.
mm,
So it means when this is out, I steal your creature. I go to attacks. I attack with the creature. No, it's gone. I don't get it back, you do. But you get it back tapped and attacking. So I can't decide if that's necessarily better. I mean, it's a way to force the goad without having to roll the chaos,
mm,
but it really limits what those decks do because it exiles and goes back to the back under its owner's control. So yeah,
yeah,
it's an interesting setup. I do think that I'm just looking to roll to get out of here.
yeah.
I don't think this is really where I want to be. The next one,
Mm-hmm.
this is Mycosynth Wave. All permanents are artifacts in addition to their other types. All cards that aren't on the battlefield, spells, and permanents are colorless.
Oh,
Players may spend mana as though it were mana of any color. Now, chaos is whenever chaos ensues, the next spell you cast this turn has affinity for artifacts.
uh-oh.
It doesn't matter what kind of deck you're playing. All the permanents are colorless, and you can spend mana of any color. Well, who cares because they're colorless,
Mm.
but resolves any mana issues or any color issues you may have with your current mana. Um, Makes artifact destruction way better. um, yeah. The interesting part is you usually see this in decks where that's the theme, and this is Plane Chase, where who knows? You're not building your deck around these planes, so it's just going to hit in a chaotic manner, and maybe this helps, maybe it doesn't.
The chaos isn't even that like it's impressive, of course, especially if you have X spells. But it's generally saying that you're going to be paying 2 mana for a spell because like you still have to cover those pips. It's not getting rid of the pips, but it like you are now able to cast it for any mana. It's just you do have to cover those colored pips. Um, but yeah, this with X spells, and you hit chaos. Uh, your X can be, you know, for instance, Buzzbark, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got 20 tokens on the battlefield. You've got 8, 9 lands on the battlefield.
Yeah,
You've got a couple other just utility things lying about. You roll chaos. You can now make X all of that
yeah,
plus everything that you're tapping for mana.
yeah,
And now Buzzbark's going to be, dropping at least 40 dice from 40
yeah.
inches.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
uh,
this is a lot of fun because it does that. I think the affinity for artifacts is where this really shines for everybody
yeah.
because you're going to get you get essentially a lot of free spells. So even if you don't have, so even if you've got, let's say, 7 artifacts on the field now, plus your 6 lands, so that you essentially have 13 mana.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But the interesting part, though, is you don't have 13 mana because you've got the 7 lands. So if you're tapping 1 or 2, you only have to pay for the initial, and then you're getting the discount from the affinity. So if I've got 5 mana spells, I need to pay just the colored cost at the start. And then all the rest of it, all the colorless portions are all free over and over. So forget about even having an X spell. If I've got 3 cards that each cost 8, and it's 2 colored and 6, I'm essentially getting to play them all for.
Well, it's only the next discount. Spell, right?
Oh, it's just the next spell.
But
You're right.
I mean that prevents it from being super broken, right? Like,
right.
It's only one spell that you get, to be really excited about. But you get to save a boatload of mana, which is always fun. I think overall this one's good. I like this one. I would not hate being here in most of my decks, and I would be rolling because I want that chaos. But also, yeah. All right, next one is it's called Sans Mercy. It's a big jumble of mocking text. It says, when you planeswalk to this plane, each player chooses a non-black creature they control. Destroy those creatures. Sure. Whenever chaos, spelled incorrectly, ensues, perform the following process X times, where X is the number of times you've rolled the planar die this turn. Each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. That chaos it's Torment of Hailfire.
Okay.
Where X is just the number of times you've rolled the die.
Right.
I'm rolling to get out of here. It's fine. It did its thing. There's no real static ability. I mean, I guess I could just stay here. It's not going to be that bad. The chaos only affects your opponents. So, I guess there is reason to leave, if only so that my opponents don't get access to this chaos.
Yeah, and I can see this being a if an opponent hits the chaos and it's the first time they've rolled, then each of your opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacks a non-land permanent or discards a card. So 3 life, non-land permanent, discard card. Okay, that's lousy. I don't want them hitting this on their second or third die roll.
Well, even so,
oh my god.
Even so, I think treasures or food are so ubiquitous that you sacrifice a treasure and it's done, right? It's either 3 life, draw a card, or discard a card, or sacrifice a thing. Generally speaking, unless X is huge, which it's not going to be,
right?
You're going to be sacrificing a token. You're going to be unless you don't have them, unless this is early game, unless this is, there are so many other things.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, then you're losing 3 life, and that's not it's obviously big, right? Torment of Hailfire is a pain in the ass for a reason.
Yeah. I do think this is another plane where you're going to roll the die every chance you get,
right?
Because once you're there, the plane doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So the only thing is a game where nothing happens, or you hit chaos and your opponents suffer, or you leave, and then they don't get a chance to roll it. So I don't see the downside in just rolling. It's interesting because this whole set, there really hasn't been a downside to rolling away. Whereas a lot of the earlier plane chase cards, there was the dichotomy of, do I leave or do I stay? And you had to struggle with that with a lot of the cards. And these ones, there's no real struggle. Just roll the die.
But Bruce, I have a question for you.
Oh.
Do you like squirrels?
Yes, I do. So the last plane that we're going to be talking about here is called We Hope You Like Squirrels. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, and whenever a player casts a spell, that player creates a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Now, whenever chaos ensues, put a +1/+1 counter on each squirrel you control. Finally, I think we've hit a plane where there is some question as to whether or not you roll the die.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're running a deck that has reasonably smaller casting cost cards and ways to draw, you want to stick around.
Right.
Because if every time you cast a spell, you're getting another 1/1 squirrel, if on every upkeep you're getting a 1/1 squirrel, I appreciate you want to roll because you want that chaos to make them a little bigger. You give that up. You don't roll. You just keep going. I mean, this is
Yeah.
this could be a real treat.
It's the type that I even question if I roll for free. Because so like obviously there's the question of if you want to roll at all, generally, because you want these squirrels. But then you get to a point where you are having to make the decision, am I spending my mana on another roll, or am I spending my mana on another spell, which will then give me another squirrel?
Right.
And obviously, we're not even going to talk about doubling season type effects, because it gets dumb. But I think, if you get to the point where you have to pay 3 mana for a roll or 3 mana for your spell and a squirrel, I would think that you would lean on the spell and a squirrel.
Yeah.
And if the decision is, do I roll at all and risk not ever getting a squirrel or not another squirrel?
Yeah.
Then, like, do you even do the free one?
Right. I mean, to me, deciding whether or not to roll is more a case of how much are my opponents benefiting from this? Because if you're running into somebody who is clearly benefiting far more than you, then yeah, you want to get out of here. Just roll the die. If you happen to hit chaos and whatever squirrels you happen to have get a little bigger, that's a fringe benefit, but basically you're looking to get the hell out of here. So it doesn't make it, so you're going to roll. And the person who has the benefit is not going to roll.
Yeah.
Why risk it? Just, that +1/+1 counter on each squirrel is great, but man, I'll take the squirrel tokens. I'll just take more of them. So
yeah, I think so. I think to kind of just wrap up the episode nicely, I do have to talk about another plane. So generally speaking, you can find the bundle of these 10 on eBay for like $100. Yeah. I think I will be proxying these until I can justify buying them. Right. The same goes with the future episodes where we talk about the unknown event ones. I would love to get my hands on some legitimate versions, but I think a lot of these are a lot of fun. Yeah. I think that this one is, the We Hope You Like Squirrels. Yeah. Is a very interesting one. Might be the first one I proxy because I think it is a strictly better Gold Meadow. Yeah. Gold Meadow, I know, aggravates you to no end, but Gold Meadow makes it's a landfall trigger. You get 3 0/1s, which are ostensibly useless, except for chump blocking. Yes. These at least are 1/1s, which have attacking benefit, have defending benefit. And you're getting them at like a much faster rate. You're getting them by doing things multiple times a turn rather than the one time you're playing a land.
I've always found Gold Meadow is more a case of it gums up the board. Yeah. Forces a mass removal spell, gives somebody some chump blockers to stop a big creature. So it sort of slows things down. And I appreciate that this will also offer that to some players. A 1/1 makes as good a chump blocker as a 0/1, but like you said, it has the option to make it aggressive. So I like that.
Yeah.
I want that option. So
yeah. So I think on that, these 10 planes, most of them I really like. I rather enjoy, the fun cutesiness of it. I will definitely be slotting them into my big pile of planes when I finally assemble that. But I think that that's kind of gonna do it. If any of you out there have a specific favorite here or in any of the planes, feel free to throw it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. But other than that, I think it's time to go.
I think so.
It's time to roll on out of here. It's a die joke, not like death. But yeah. So come back next week. We've got a Temple's Treasures for you.
Woo!
That's gonna be a weird one, because it was recorded 2 years ago. But stick around for that one. If you're watching this on YouTube, press that subscribe button. If you're listening elsewhere, press that follow button or whatever podcast apps have nowadays. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Check out the links down below for our other Plane Chase episodes. We're Temple of False Pod, where our decks are not optimized, but our plays sure as heck are fun. I'm Andy.
I'm Bruce.
Thanks again so much for watching. Thanks again so much for listening. See you around. We'll be back next week. May,
Like, come on, man.
May your fifth land be the temple.
Bye!
Wait, before you go, just wanted to say thank you for listening. You can reach out to us via email at falsepodmtg@gmail.com or loosguy@falsepodmtg. Bruce is at ManaBurned, and I'm at Andy Weekend, though you'll definitely notice I use the podcast Twitter far more often. Now that we've got you here, make sure you subscribe, like, rate us on whatever podcast platform you use. It helps us out. It gets us more reach. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Like a video there. Leave some comments for more casual enjoyment. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back with some more timeless discussions about all things casual. So come hang out, and may your fifth land be the temple. Bye-bye. Should I do my best, Bruce? Bye!